wants Papoose back doesn't really surprise me. He was a true definition of that's a good man, Savannah. And I don't
It doesn't really come as much of a shock that Remy Ma would want Papoose back. If you know anything about their relationship, you can easily see that Papoose was the epitome of a good man for her. It's the type of relationship that often gets romanticized in the media. Papoose stood by Remy through thick and thin, even when she was incarcerated, never wavering in his support. He was everything Remy could have asked for in a partner, and the public often saw their relationship as a rare example of true love, loyalty, and mutual respect. But as with many high-profile relationships, even the most solid foundations can face cracks. Remy Ma, despite having this ideal partner, might have found herself questioning if the grass was truly greener on the other side, especially with the temptations that fame and celebrity bring. The recent developments, however, have caught many off guard. As the saying goes, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. And now Remy's feelings toward Papoose seem to reflect that sentiment. But does she have a right to feel this way now, or is it simply the result of a mix of jealousy and regret? This drama was recently reignited when a video surfaced of Papoose supposedly moving in with a younger woman. Of course, the gossip mill went into overdrive, and Remy, naturally, was thrown into the mix. This sent a shockwave through fans and observers of the couple, as it appeared that Papoose had already moved on with someone else, which left Remy in an emotional bind. The narrative that Papoose was seeing a new woman was all over social media, and many fans quickly chimed in, saying things like, "Good for you, Papoose," or "You deserve happiness." People were shocked, and some even voiced their surprise at how quickly Papoose had seemingly moved on. The speculation was further fueled by an image of Papoose with a stunning woman who, at first glance, many thought was his new girlfriend. The conversation started to lean in one direction. Remy might be feeling upset because Papoose had found someone new who appeared to be everything she was not willing to be. In this whirlwind of speculation, I couldn't help but jump into the situation myself. As I was scrolling through my feed late at night, don't judge, I have a unique routine. I stumbled across this photo of Papoose with a woman who was, without a doubt, eye-catching. The BBL, the curves, the gorgeous looks, it all seemed to fit the kind of woman you'd expect a man like Papoose to be with if he were moving on from a complicated relationship with Remy. There were comments from people hyping up the image, telling Papoose that he deserved a beautiful partner who treated him well, which seemed to further push the narrative that he had moved on and was leaving his past behind. But of course, things aren't always as they seem, and after digging a little deeper, I found out that the woman in question wasn't Papoose's girlfriend at all. As I read through more reports, I learned that the woman in the photo was actually his daughter. So there you have it, the woman who many people thought was Papoose's new love interest turned out to be his flesh and blood, not a potential girlfriend. This led me to realize just how quick people can jump to conclusions, especially when it comes to the private lives of celebrities. It didn't take long for me to find out that the true cause of the drama stemmed from the revelation that Papoose had been living with his daughter and not some mysterious new woman. That news brought some relief to the online community, who were initially left reeling from the thought of Remy Ma losing Papoose to another woman. It was almost like everyone was collectively holding their breath, hoping that this wasn't the case. However, this didn't fully quell the fire of speculation around Remy and Papoose's relationship. Even with the confusion around the new woman being clarified, the question remains, why is Remy upset in the first place? After all, Papoose had been her rock through everything. They built a family together, and while their relationship may have had its challenges, it had always seemed to be one of mutual respect and understanding. So why now? Looking at Remy's side of the equation, you can't help but feel like she's struggling with some complex emotions. On one hand, there's the undeniable love and history she shares with Papoose, but on the other, there's the reality of their individual growth. Sometimes when relationships become too familiar, we start questioning things, not necessarily because we don't love the person, but because we wonder if there's something else out there waiting for us. Remy's feelings about Papoose moving on may stem from a deep sense of regret or a fear of losing him completely. It's possible that while she was living her own life, she didn't realize just how much she needed him until she saw him potentially moving on. Celebrities like Remy often deal with the pressures of public life and career distractions, and sometimes that causes them to overlook the importance of the people who are there for them through it all. In many ways, this situation mirrors that classic struggle of people who have been in long-term relationships, but eventually start to realize that they may not be as happy as they once were. When one partner moves on, whether mentally or physically, it can trigger a sense of panic in the other, even if they were the ones who initiated the separation in the first place. In the case of Papoose and Remy, the public nature of their relationship makes this all the more complicated. They've always been very open about their love for each other, their struggles, and their triumphs. So seeing them go through what might appear to be a breakup or some form of separation feels like watching a beloved couple unravel. But what happens when both parties are trying to move forward in different ways? Is Remy's reaction justifiable, or is it a form of holding on to something that has already changed? For Papoose, moving on with his daughter and possibly finding peace in their father-daughter relationship seems to make sense, given the years of support and loyalty he's shown. Meanwhile, Remy, perhaps feeling a pang of jealousy or loneliness, might be reflecting on what she could have done differently. This entire situation is complicated by the fact that celebrities often live their lives under a microscope. Everything they do, from personal decisions to public actions, is analyzed, scrutinized, and judged. While fans feel invested in the outcome of their favorite stars' relationships, it's essential to remember that what we see is often only a small part of a much larger picture. So, to recap the saga, Remy Ma's feelings of wanting Papoose back, while understandable, come from a place of loss and possible regret. Meanwhile, Papoose, who has always been loyal to her, might be trying to find peace in his own way, especially now that the gossip mill has stirred things up. The speculation surrounding Papoose moving in with a new woman was quickly dispelled when it was revealed that the woman was, in fact, his daughter, which helped clear up some of the confusion. In the end, the real takeaway from this situation isn't just about who's dating whom or who's upset. It's about understanding that relationships are dynamic, and sometimes people have to find their own paths, even when it's difficult to see the other person moving forward. For fans, it might be hard to let go of the idea of the perfect couple, but for Papoose and Remy, it's all about what makes them happy individually, whether that means moving on or reconciling in the future. Only time will tell where their relationship truly stands, but for now, we're left watching from the sidelines as these two navigate their own personal journeys. It doesn't really come as much of a shock that Remy Ma would want Papoose back. If you know anything about their relationship, you can easily see that Papoose was the epitome of a good man for her. It's the type of